What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Boom fights are back, people. UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. For those out there that don't quite know what those initials stand for, UFC is back. I'm excited. I enjoy watching it. It makes me feel happy to unplug and watch two dudes or women, dudettes, or non-binary theys. I don't know. Doesn't matter what your gender label is. As long as they're kicking the shit out of each other with high-level technique, I enjoy watching it. And UFC Fight Night, New Brunswick, coming at you. Volkan Ozdemir versus Lionheart Smith, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Volkan Ozdemir coming off his loss to, I think his last fight was lost to DC. Lionheart up and come. Well, he's been around forever. Kind of fresh to the UFC. Definitely fresh to the light heavyweight. Looking great at light heavyweight so far. Destroying people. Be very interesting to see this matchup. But yeah, Anthony Lionheart. You got Michael Johnson versus Artem Lobov. I expect Johnson to destroy Lobov in this one. The main event. I want to see Anthony Smith win it. I mean, either guy can definitely win it. Light heavyweight is a crazy division. Not super stacked, so anybody has an opportunity to get some notoriety from this fight. It is the main event. I mean, and Ozdemir's only looked bad against DC, I guess. But I don't know. I would go Anthony Smith. Not strong on that. I'm stronger on Michael Johnson defeating Artem Lobov. Artem has been overrated since he came in. Granted, he did look great on the Ultimate Fighter TV show, so he did earn his way into the UFC on some note, despite having a horrible record, but has looked far from impressive. I think maybe he had one decent fight in the UFC. But other than that, very unimpressed with him. I expect Michael Johnson to destroy him, which this is, I think, second fight for Johnson at featherweight. And he looked great in his last fight, if I remember correct. It seems like so many things going on in the world. It's hard to remember exactly what happened recently. Patrick Cummins versus Misha Serkinov. I have no idea. Cummins is a beast. That's just going to be a good fight. I don't have a pick for that one. I'll go Serkinov. How about that? See, John Vellante versus Ed Herman. Man, two guys that kind of gas a little bit. I think Herman's going to win it. Vellante just never goes in with a good game plan. Court McGee is in against Alex Garcia. I'll go Court McGee. He's not super consistent. But yeah, looking forward to this card. Just kind of a nice, kind of ease you back into the UFC, ease you back in after the chaos of McGregor, Khabib, Nurmagomedov. Interesting to see what happens with that whole thing. It's been very interesting listening to all of the MMA podcasts and their opinions. Some I agree with, some I don't. I've definitely calmed down with the whole thing, but there's certain comparisons that I don't agree with, like comparing it to the Dolly thing. Because, I mean, for anybody, first off, they're independent contractors. They're not employees. But let's just say they are employees, which would be even a more serious thing for the UFC to handle. But they're not. But let's just say they are. Let's just say, like, you're an employee at Costco or something, right? There is a huge difference between doing something on the clock and doing something off the clock, right? Conor wasn't fighting. Granted, he fucked up a bunch of people who were fighting in their process. It's not a good thing he did. They both did horrible things. But Conor did it. He couldn't even be touched by the athletic commission because he didn't have a license to fight in New York. So, like, aside from criminal, which he dealt with those and he's dealing with lawsuits. So he's been punished. To think the UFC is going to do anything that's going to be advantageous, like they think that their punishment is going to tell Conor, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Like, there's nothing the UFC can do to Conor to punish him to, like, calm him down. There's nothing that, because he's like their best employee. Like they're not gonna. It would just be shooting themselves in the foot to not let Conor fight, or to, and what are they gonna do? Like dock his pay? Maybe they fine him or whatever. But there's very little they can do, which is one of the realities that we live in our society. That if you have a lot of money, then you can get away with a lot of shit. And if you are the big bread earner for a company, in most circumstances, definitely leaving Costco out of this one, if you make a lot of money for the company, then I can understand getting special privileges. But at the same time, you can't on-the-clock shit. Khabib did on-the-clock shit, and it was crazy. And but I want to see. There's so many fights at lightweight I want to see. I don't care. I don't care if there's a rematch right away. There's a lot of good fights. Just match somebody up. Stay healthy, everybody. But that's it. That's my picks for UFC New Brunswick for this week. And I'll come back next week with picks and a recap of this fight, getting back into it with more fights more regularly. But you can go to inspireddisorder.com for all the work that I do, artwork and things that if you want to buy, support me for the holidays. There are sales coming up, but go check out all of it at inspireddisorder.com. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. That's it. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great week. Peace out.